Alright guys, welcome back to another new video today. So in today's video I'm actually going to be showing you guys something a little bit different. This is not what I would usually be making a tutorial about, but this is going to be a start of a new series I'm doing, as I'll be working with some of this stuff for the meantime. So in today's video I'll be showing you how to set up a SysPrep file for some virtual machines, so that all you really need to do is have one file such as this, and you can just clone it and have multiple machines running with the same base image. So it's pretty much like imaging, but it's a lot simpler for virtual machines. Now you're going to obviously want to have your virtualized software. So for this one here we'll be using Hyper-V. So you need to have Windows 10 Pro to be able to use this, Pro or upwards. So yeah, and you can activate that through programs and features. So if you need to access that, just go Windows key, programs and features, and click OK. You go to turn on Windows features on or off, wait for this to load up, tick that box and press OK, and it will install everything you need, and you'll be able to run Hyper-V. So as I said, you need to have Windows 10 Pro or upwards. So I don't even think the education version supports this, but anyways, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and create like a virtual machine. So we'll connect to the local server here, which is fine. Just click this here, and then you're gonna go here, quick create, and you're gonna wait for this to come up. We'll go new virtual machine and click next. Now name it whatever you want. So VM1 we can go for, and press next. Actually, I want to store the virtual machine somewhere different, so you guys don't have to do this, but I will. So I'm going to store mine on E, which is a files drive. So I'm just going to press select folder. It'll store them there. Actually, I might make a specified folder for them. VM stuff. There you go. Alright, and I'll put it all in there. Select folder, next. Depending on what you're doing, you want to choose a generation or generation 1 or generation 2 machine. Generation 2 supports SCSI and other stuff. This one's a lot better. I would recommend this one unless you have to use generation 1. Press next. You can allocate as much RAM as you want to it. So first I will check how much RAM your machine has. So just bring up your task manager with Control Shift and Escape. And as you can see, if you go to performance, it'll tell you your memory. So I've only got 24 gigs installed at the moment because one of my sticks aren't coming up for the 32 gig for the 32 gigs, sorry, but that's fine. 24 is enough. I'll just allocate it 4 gigs of RAM. So to do that, you want to find out what 1024 times 4 is, so you can get your calculator and make sure you do this correctly, otherwise you won't be allocating the right amount of RAM. So 1024 times by 4 is 4096. I'll leave it open this time. 4096, and then untick this box so that you're not using dynamic memory allocation. For your connection, you can do whatever you want. So like for this, it says not connected at the moment. I'm just gonna leave it as not connected for now, and I'll configure that shortly. Actually, let's try default switch. Should connect it to your local network, hopefully. If not, I'll sort that out later. I'll show you guys how to set that up. Now, if this is your first time and you don't have any SysPrep images, you're going to want to create a new virtual hard disk, and you do it there. But I'm going to be using an existing hard disk just because I have a SysPrep image. So I'm going to grab this file here and I'm going to clone it. So I'll go into my files folder, temp. So I'm gonna make a new folder called temp, where I'll store all of my temporary stuff like this hard disk. So the reason why I'm cloning it is so that I don't have to make a new one. I can use this same one. So as you can see, it's almost done. Get in there. Only 50%. I don't know why I can only see half of that. That's really weird. Anyways, we'll wait for that to finish and then we'll go on. Alright, cool. So that's finishing up now. So it's just doing the last bit, and there you go, bang. Alright, so we can press OK, open. So now we've got that image there. Now I'm going to go next. I'll show you guys how to set up a disk if you need to install it from a disk in a moment. So I've done everything I need, so I'm just going to press finish. Alright, cool. So press finish and it'll create the new machine. Done. Alright, so that's your VM now. So you're going to right click on it and you're going to go settings. And first of all, you're going to disable secure boot. So just untick that box. Alright, press apply for now. If you have a CD or like an ISO, what you need to do is you need to come and click on the SCSI controller. Click on DVD drive and click add. So you'll add a drive like so. Then you're going to want to click on an image file, browse, and you're going to browse for your image file wherever it is. So it'll just be your normal Windows installer or whatever. You should know how to install Windows if you're doing this. And go ahead, click that, press apply so that it saves it. And then you're going to want to go back into the firmware, so you're going to choose to boot from this first, so move that up like so. It'll check the DVD, and if there's something on the DVD which is an ISO that you should have imported, it'll boot from your ISO. Just go through it, set it up, install it to your hard drive. Make sure that your hard drive is a decent size for whatever you want. So I think this one here is like 40 gigabytes or something. I don't know. I just let it import whatever size it was. Yeah, just make sure that it's the right size. It might be, if you want to use 100 gigs, go for gold. It depends on how much stuff you're going to be storing on your server. Install it, and then once you're done doing all that, I'll show you what to do. So just bear with me one moment. I will apply this and I will go on. Now we can close that. We can go connect like so, and it'll bring up this page. You're just going to press the start button over here. So as I said, my one's going to be pre-set up already because I've already had to set this up prior to making this video. So I'm just going to quickly skip ahead once it loads. As you can see, it's just loading up now. Give it some time. Okay guys, I'm just gonna like pause the video and I'll be back when it's on the desktop so I can show you what you need to do from there, okay? Alright guys, so once you actually have that loaded, you're gonna wanna go into your server or whatever it is that you're using, and you're gonna wanna load this up. Just bear with me one moment. Okay guys, so you're going to want to open the run, so you can do that by hitting Windows plus R key, or you can go to the start menu and type run, like so. Just open up run, like so, and you're going to want to type SysPrep, like that, and hit enter. Then you're going to want to open this one here, and you want to enter the out of the box experience, okay? Then you're going to want to click generalize and then shut down and press OK. Now this will begin to make all the stuff to make it a SysPrep. Now it's going to take some time. Let it keep doing this. This might take a while depending on how much stuff you've got on your virtual machine. So I'm just going to let it do its thing, and I'll speed up the video while it's... Oh, never mind. I didn't even need to. So it's going to turn itself off now. So mine didn't take long. It's probably only got maybe whatever the system is on it, and I haven't really set up anything else. So that's it, that's done. So your virtual machine is done, and it'll be coming up like the out of the box experience. So now what you want to do is you want to go into the settings for this. Okay, so this hard drive that you've got here, you're going to find out wherever it is saved to. So you're going to go browse, and you'll find it here. You might have it somewhere else if you've gone and created this drive and installed everything to it. So what you can do is you can now copy this drive to your desktop, and this will be your SysPrep drive. Otherwise you can also export this if you want to do it a different way. So you right click and go export, and you can choose where you want to export it to, so you can export it to your desktop or wherever. So I'll go into temp and I'll make temp export VM1. Alright, and you can save it in there, and then you press export, and all it really does is it just exports the whole thing to that. So if you go over here, we'll take a look. This PC, temp, and you got temp export VM1 snapshots. You got that there. Virtual hard disk. This is the hard disk file that you need with a SysPrep. So this is all you really need. As I showed you earlier in the video how I set my one up, if you want to set up a VM with this, you can go the same way how I used the same virtual disk every time. With every single one, just make sure you clone the disk for every virtual machine, and select a different version of the clone for each machine that you're using. So for example, let's copy this one here, and we'll go back to temp, right? So let's say I want to make another virtual machine. So it'll say, okay, this can't be completed because they're Hyper-V Virtual Manager. Okay, cool. So if it's still open in the Virtual Manager, you want to check and make sure it's a full size. So what size is this? Properties. So it's only 7.3 gigs at the moment. Might still be exporting. Sorry, I did miss that. So as you can see, the status up here, it's still exporting. So just wait for that to finish. Alright, so as you can see, it said that it succeeded and it's done. So now it should have let go of the image. So if I go here into the, as you can see, we're in my files, temp, where we exported the virtual machine to VM1. If you go into hard disk, you'll see here you got the hard disk. Now you can copy this, and just to prove to you, we can import it just like any other machine. We'll just use the virtual disk. So I'm going to paste it here, and we're going to compare both files just so we can keep them. It's going to ask to rename them. So there you go. You'll see when it comes in. Oh, whoops, my bad. Again, paste. Compare both files, just tick this so that they both stay in there. Continue. Now it's just going to take about a minute to clone it by the looks of things. So we'll just let it go. Alright, so as you can see now we're done. You've got number 2 here. So I'll show you how to set up this as if it's like its own standalone virtual machine. So again, we're going to go here, new virtual machine. You're going to go next. You're going to name it whatever you want. So I'll name it VM2 YouTube. Alright, and we go next, generation 2, next. We're going to set it up again, so the same as before. So it was 4096 for the 4 gigabytes of RAM, and untick to use dynamic memory. Go next. For the network, just use default switch if you want it to be connected to your internet. If you don't want to connect it to your internet, you can do not connected, or you can use a private network, which I'll show you how to set up later. I'll just do not connected for now because I don't need to connect it to anything, but you can change that later through the options, which I'll show you in a moment. Now you're going to go and click on the use existing virtual hard disk, click browse, and you're going to browse to wherever your hard disks are. So if I remember correctly, we saved ours in files, temp, and you've got the new one here, number 2. So double click on that, press next, and you'll get all these things here. Just press finish, it'll create your virtual machine, and there you go. This is number 2. So you can see that we copied this from number 1, which we created the SysPrep for. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and boot it up, and you'll see what I mean by how it's like an out-of-the-box experience. So you're going to double click it to start it, and you're going to press the start button there, which is the green button, and just let it load. So you'll see it doing some stuff in the background there. It'll open up into a big window, and just let it do its thing. You can bring the task manager window up to the side if you want, and you can just view what it's doing. So depending on what sort of drive you have in there, it's going to start flogging it, because obviously it's fresh in the drive now. So you'll see this go up to full usage in a moment. That's because, there you go, it's because it's using as much of it as it can. I'm using a hard drive, so this would be faster if I was using an SSD, but you know, I don't have enough money for a 1TB SSD, so this is what we're living with, right? Anyways, just let it go through its process. So you can see it's getting devices ready now, so it'll check and it'll go through everything. It's almost done. Typically this shouldn't take too long, just depending on your machine, and I believe this allocates only one CPU core to each virtual machine, because you can see not much of the CPU is being used, so should only be like 1 core. The Ethernet's going crazy, but that's because I've got a connection into this machine, like I'm remoting into it. I'm not actually physically at this machine that we're recording. So yeah, alright, so as you can see now, it's pretty much done doing all of its preparation stuff, and now we're going to get into the out-of-box experience, so like the OEM experience when you get your machine. Alright, so as you can see here, we get these things here, so you can choose whatever state you want. So you would have gone through this when you originally set up your machine, before you created the image, but that's fine, because this will let you set it up for multiple machines with the same image. So you're just going to press next, or choose whatever country or region you're in, press next, and you're going to set a password for it. Oh, well, not yet, you have to press accept first. So I accept the terms and conditions, then you're going to write yourself a password in there, whatever password you want, and make sure you get it right both times. It'll finalize your settings and should do one more reboot, and here we go. So now that you're here, you can log in. So just press Control Delete and log in. So put whatever password you put in there, hit enter. If I knew how to type, I would get it right. And there you go. So it's logging in, and it should have everything you've installed on it or set up previously. So I didn't have anything that I had installed on this, but if I did, it would have been saved in the SysPrep image. So this is how you can make your time to setting up servers a lot easier, or your time deploying virtual machines, because you can have everything ready to go just from the one SysPrep file, and it can have all of your basic tools in there for running either your server or your virtual machine. Maybe you're using some sort of station to render, you know, whatever it is. But as you can see, it works out of the box and didn't even take us any time at all. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I will be making other little videos along the way. Before I do end this, actually I might just show you, you can shut this down over here by clicking the shutdown button and press shutdown. So it'll send the shutdown command to Windows. Windows will terminate and it'll start turning off. If you press this button here, it's just if you press there's another button here that completely kills it. This one here, the square button to turn off, that's like yanking the power cable out of your computer, so that will just kill it. Don't do that unless you really need to. And I'm not sure what it's doing now. It's done anyways. So if you want to go to settings, you can modify some things in here. So you can add SCSI adapters, network adapters, a fiber channel adapter. So as you can see, I was right, it's only one processor core. And in your SCSI controller, you can add other things like hard drives, shared drive, whatever you want to do there. Your network adapter, you can change this to other things. So as I said, you can change it to default switch so that the machine can connect to the internet. And you can do other things as well, like you can add your own network adapter. For example, we can add another one. If you want it to have dual adapters for whatever reason, you can remove it as well by clicking the remove button. And there's some other things that you can do in here. So if you go into Hyper-V settings, you got enhanced session modes and whatnot, physical GPUs. Otherwise, you can also modify the switch, which I was talking to you about earlier. So virtual switch manager, and let's say you want to create an internal or a private switch. So let's just say we're creating a private switch. Go create virtual switch. So this will create a private network within Hyper-V. So all the computers that are within Hyper-V connected to this private network can talk to each other, but they can't talk externally. So they won't connect to the internet or your local network. They'll only be connected to the Hyper-V network. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you stay tuned for some new videos coming up, as I'll be showing you how to set up other things like other operating systems such as CentOS, and some operating systems like Ubuntu, Lubuntu and stuff like that, because I'll be running one of those servers as well. And yeah, thanks guys, catch you all in the next video. Peace.